And thus we become frustrated, bitter, disappointed, and angry at life because things don't work out the way we know they could. And nobody can see that as sharply as the projector or a type.
But it begins not with the fact that there may be that potential for projectors. It begins with the dilemma that projectors are so conditioned that as a group that they are so deeply, deeply lost in the Maya. No fault of theirs, eh? No blame in that. You know, one of the things to understand about this knowledge is that it's hierarchical. It's elitist. There's only certain people that ever get direct access to this knowledge. There's not that many projectors in the world that have any inkling of an idea of what it is to be a projector. It's the beginning of a process. It's the beginning of an educational process. I have some projectors in my life who have already gone through a 7-year cycle. You can see the difference. It takes time. You know, it will take generations of work to begin to have, you know, a projector milieu that is really displaying what is that potential. It's work. And it goes back to the very basis of this knowledge that says everything in this life is accomplished by you. And you alone. And nobody else. It's you. If it doesn't happen in you, if it doesn't work in you, you know, it's you. Nobody can make it happen for you. Nobody can take you there. You see, a projector has to find within themselves that deep, deep lust for the truth. Nobody is more interested in the truth than projectors. No one. No one. This is their business. And when you think about the dilemma that they are incredible liars, you begin to wonder about the discovery of truth. And who's going to guide others to that truth? How many projectors guide people to lies? A lot. I mean, lies are much more successful than the truth in this world. We know that. You know, somebody doing an angel wing convention will get a lot more people than me. You know, it's the way this stuff works. You know?
What a profound line that is, that projectors here lust for the truth, and that there are no one who lies quite like the projector. You see, the nature of this recognition system, without ever knowing when enough is enough, the need to be conditioned as a projector does. No other being is meant to be conditioned in the same way as a projector. You see, that undefined sacral center and the nature of their evolutionary leap gives them this capacity to see into the truth, to see into the natural success of life itself, to see how things work in a good way. And so often they see that things do not work in a good way. Things work in a frustrating, an angry, a bitter, and a disappointing way. Projectors are seeing it everywhere. And this is basically because everybody trusts their minds for making decisions. People listen to the thinking mind up here as if it is the sole decision maker, as if it is the headquarters for life, and really it's a reflection. As far as I can tell, the mind, the brain, this is here to observe reality. It's here to make measurements and calculations and interpretations from that observation. And then it's here to share the calculations, measurements, and observations that it has accrued. That's the job of the brain and the mind. And yet we twist it in on ourselves and we invert it into a decision-making resource. And thus we become frustrated, bitter, disappointed, and angry at life because things don't work out the way we know they could. And nobody can see that as sharply as the projector or a type. And because of the nature of this, that they don't know when enough is enough, that they're meant to be conditioned. Well, everybody around me is lying. Why would I tell the truth? Everybody around me is lying. How am I even supposed to notice the truth? There's nobody around me living in their truth. How am I supposed to recognize that? And that was basically the struggle that Ra had when he first started talking about human design. In his perspective, every single human being around him was so deeply immersed in falsehood. They were so deeply fake, like an instrument out of tune. And what could he do about that other than to inform people of how wrong they are as a manifester? He doesn't have to wait for the invitation. He simply showed up and told everybody you're wrong. And it wasn't like he wanted to. Ra wanted to just live up in this tree and do nothing forever. He was like, I don't want to talk about this. I don't even want to think about what happened. I just had the most amazing encounter of my entire life experience. And now I'm back to the mundane world. I'm back to ordinary reality where I've got to feed myself and I've got to do all this various stuff. Ugh, what a drag. And then people pestered him and they pestered him and they pestered him and they pestered him until eventually one day he got down from the tree and started teaching classes. And he started giving his informing to the structure of the people around him that there is a perspective on life that is mechanically accurate as to what's actually happening here. And so for projectors who see human design, you have this opportunity to recognize what is happening, to recognize the fact that truth is individual. This is fundamentally what it means to be a nine-centered human alive today, that truth is an individual process. In the past and for our ancestors, truth was a tribal thing, basically. The spiritual process was very tribal. It's rooted in we have our needs are met, great. Our needs aren't met, well, we need to pray. We need to sacrifice animals to the gods in order to receive the reward of having our needs be met. And I don't know if you've noticed this or not. However, it's not working quite like it used to. There's so many people on this planet now that things are functioning a bit differently. And now the truth of the matter is the individual spiritual process is the only way forward. The old bargains and the old systems and the old lies are beginning to crumble. You see, for the past 400 years or so, the age of planning has been upon us. This entire industrial revolution, the development of the internet, and all this collective communication. This began from this age of planning. And it's coming to an end. These bargains, these agreements, these structures, this ability to transport food everywhere, the supply chain is going to be destabilized. Things are going to change. And instead of an agreement, instead of a bargain wherein I do this for you and you do that for me, times, 8 billion people or so, the background frequency is shifting into I am busy right now meeting my needs. I am busy right now for survival. I am busy right now demonstrating my power. I am busy right now taking care of myself. This is the background frequency and the age we are moving into, the age of the sleeping phoenix.
If you have enjoyed the show and would like to learn more about how all of this applies specifically to you, then kindly refer to the link in this video's description, Private Consultation. Here, we can dive into all of the details together in a recorded call. May your signature vibration of satisfaction, success, peace and surprise find you in a good way.